Hello, ladies. It's Jackie Sabrin here. You're engaged at any age live coaching call. I'm just inspired to show up for you today because I'm obsessed with this topic: how to stop sabotaging your first dates. I just think that a lot of women that I'm working with get on dates, but then they get stuck in this first date treadmill and they don't get to the second date. So I thought I would just weigh in on the topic because it's so important to get this piece down so you don't spend a lot of time on these first dates. Although first dates are really valuable, they give you an opportunity to practice your skills. So I don't want to discount first dates, but I want to see you getting second dates. And so how do you stop sabotaging those first dates? So the biggest thing that happens, I'm going to go right into it, is that you aren't bringing your whole self to the date, and there's a lot of reasons for that. In other words, you're not showing up authentically in who you are. You're probably putting on a mask or persona because you want to show up with your best self, and so you're kind of staged and you're kind of playing a role, right? You're not really being you, but you're playing a role. You're being on your best behavior. You're trying to listen. You're smiling, but it's not connecting because he wants to know who you really are. And when you show up inauthentically, he's not going to ask you out again because it's like, who was that? And so you can just look at it this way. It's like, pretend that you're going to meet one of your girlfriends. So of course the conversation is going to be a lot different, but if you show up like you do to meet your girlfriend, you're happy, you're enthusiastic, you're happy to see her, and you don't have your guard up, and it's easy for you to show your true self. And so, but what happens is we get nervous, right? And we start, maybe we go into judging, or we begin to chat too much. We start going into chatty Cathy. And so that's one thing that will sabotage it, because I want you to remember, you're vetting him. You're not falling for him. The purpose of the first date is for you to check him out, to see if he's qualified to be in a relationship with you. So you're vetting him to see if he's a potential partner. And so you have to remain detached, because as soon as you become attached, you miss all the signs, and he'll show those to you on the first date. But if you come to the date detached from an outcome and really curious about seeing who he is, he'll show you. And what will happen is he'll sense that you're not attached to an outcome. So a lot of times when women get excited about a man, and it's easy to do, especially if he's like really good looking, or we haven't been on a date in 6 months, and we finally get a date, and we go out, and we're like, okay, this is something. Or a little hair in my face there, and you get so excited that you miss the part about him telling you about how he has a bad relationship with his mother, and how he doesn't talk to his ex-wife, and you're not really paying attention to that because you haven't dated in 6 months. So you need to stay in that observer position where you're vetting him, you're watching and listening to see what he does. So another, because he's going to tell you, he's going to show you and tell you who he is on the first date. And instead of your job, instead of convincing him how amazing you are, you can just sit back and let him show you by what he says and does and how he treats you. Then that's going to give you a lot of information, the information that you really are on that first date to begin with. You're on the first date to gather information about whether or not he is a potential partner for you. That's it. And so one of the things, these are all little tips, but I know that you know these, but I'll repeat them anyways. It's like showing up on time. What I like to do, and I recommend that you do, is get there a few minutes after he gets there. Let him be waiting for you. So I'm not saying 15 minutes. If you're going to be more than 15 minutes late, you should text him and say, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm running late. I'll be right there. Let him know, communicate. But I would get there after he's there, and just take a deep breath at the door and walk in slowly, so that he's waiting for you and he's anticipating your arrival, so that he gets to watch you walk in. And then another thing is, I always recommend meeting just for a glass of wine or a cup of coffee. Don't set up a meeting with a man for a full dinner unless you're really clear that this has potential, so that you can leave after the time, a short time together. Or if you guys are having a great time, then he'll invite you, hey, do you want to grab a bite? And then you'll say, I would love to. And then from there you can go on and have a bite. And so you're not overly committed to that. Hi, Annie. Hi, Nat. Hi, Kia. Annie. Nice to see you. Hi, Rodney. We got a guy on here. He's creeping on our coaching call. Hi, Rodney. Nice to see you. Maybe you can give us a little comment on what your suggestions are that women do. And so I think, again, going back to the biggest mistake that women make is that we put on a mask. So we're so nervous that we don't show up as our authentic self. So showing up as if you're meeting a girlfriend, be real. So I know it takes a lot of confidence to do that. But here's the thing. The confidence comes from trusting that, one, you are going to meet your man. Confidence comes from, two, knowing that you're a high value woman and you're not going to just settle for bad treatment, bad behavior. And three, knowing that if you're going out and you're giving yourself a lot of exposure, that means you're online, you're meeting men in real life, you're really practicing, you're going out, you're putting yourself out there, you should be confident that you will meet somebody. It's a numbers game. You will meet somebody. I promise you, if you are doing all the things that you need to do to put yourself out there. So you can be confident knowing that it's going to happen for you. And so make sure that you're following up all of these things that I'm teaching you with these action steps that are putting you in front of men. So I went to Starbucks this week, and one thing I noticed it was packed, and everybody was on their phones with their head down. They were like this. Nobody was looking at each other. Ladies, if you want to meet a man, there's so many wonderful opportunities in real life. You don't have to be online dating, although I think that's the fastest way to go. But you have to get your head out of your phone and start making eye contact and smiling at men and giving them that signal that you're approachable. And it feels really good, even if they don't come over to you. It's kind of a fun little eye contact, a little eye candy back and forth that really gives you a little pep in your step for the day. So you've got to practice, especially now that summer's here. It's warmer outside. You can walk to different places. So boost your own confidence. The real confidence comes from within anyway. It's you accepting and loving yourself unconditionally. When you accept and love yourself unconditionally, a man will too. So it goes back to accepting yourself, showing up on the date with a lot more confidence that you will meet somebody. You do not have to, you have to stand for something. You can't fall for everything. That's a really important. You have to stand for the values and principles that you're looking for in a man. And when you see that they're not showing up on that date, just trust that you're going to vote with your feet, and you're going to move on until you find somebody that is shared interest, shared values. Those are really important. So show up more authentically, and make sure you detach from outcomes. So it's more like you've got to be more playful. You've got to have more fun with this. You've got to be more fluid and more relaxed on these dates. And it's not cocky. It's not like you're being cocky, but you're just like, vetting him. Like, let's see what you got. And another little thing that men love is, they do talk a lot, maybe on first dates. I've heard this a lot. That men really, might monopolize the conversation, but guess what? That's because they're nervous. And in a way, that's probably the most they're ever going to talk to you, because women traditionally are the talkers, right? So make sure that you invite them to do the talking. And okay, we had a little break in the video though. Ask them questions that and watch for them to get excited about something. So if you ask a man something about his work or his hobbies, and he gets really excited, starts telling you how much he loves Harley Davidson, he loves riding his motorcycle, and say you're not into motorcycles, but stay open, because what you're missing, the point I want to make, is that he's getting really excited about it. And if you continue to watch for that enthusiasm, that excitement and passion in his eyes, and then you ask him more questions about that, he's going to open up and he's going to share with you things that really matter to him. And it doesn't mean that you need to go on a Harley ride with him, but you need to pay attention to what matters to him. Because when you connect to him in that place, then you create a little relationship, right? You have a little connection. Your connection goes deeper, and he likes that you're interested in. It's like, why does he love the friends that he has? Because they're interested in each other's lives and their hobbies. So pay attention to what he's sharing. When you see that spark in his eyes, drill into that, ask him more questions, continue to circle back to those things that light him up, so that when you leave, that you will get asked out on a second date, because that's the objective, right? To get on a second date so you can continue to see who he is, and he'll show you over his actions. But you've got to get him to open up, and the way to do that is by being really interested and curious about the things that he's sharing. And so again, you're not wanting to fall for him on the first date, because then you won't be in a detached position where you're observing, what his actions are, how he's treating the wait staff, how attentive he is to you, what his relationship is with his family, all the things that he's going to tell you if you're able to listen. And so one of the things that stops us from listening is we start judging. And once we start judging, we get out of the present moment and we start to go into the future or the past. And typically when that happens, that's visually, men can see that. They can see that we have checked out, and maybe we're thinking about what happened to us, or we're thinking about this guy's never going to work, and that's something that men can see. So you're looking to make an emotional connection on a first date. The way you do that is by digging in, asking more questions, being more curious about things that interest him. So this does sound like I'm saying just be all about him, but the truth is, yes, you want a second date, and he's going to be flattered, right? He's going to be flattered that you're interested in the things he's interested in, and you'll have plenty of an opportunity to share your interests and hobbies if you can get on a second date. So he's looking for someone to open up to. And if you start judging, and if you're thinking about the future, worrying about the past, takes you out of the moment. And so you're not able to really connect with him. So going for that emotional connection. And of course, this goes without saying, you're not sleeping with men on first dates. Mostly, if that's the case, then he's looking for something different than you are. And so, handle that with kid gloves. In other words, handle that with a feather. You don't have to hammer a guy. I mean, you can hardly blame him. It's you're so fabulous, right? And so, but that's definitely not an option for you. So who has questions today? I see that we've got several people here. I'd love to ask a question. Please post your questions here so that I can answer them. And I'm going to be answering a lot more questions. I just launched the promotion for my upcoming annual Engaged at Any Age event, and that's my live video coaching event that I run every year. And I just interviewed 30 top love, dating, and relationship experts, and I'm going to be hosting a series of live videos during that event to discuss what each expert is sharing and teaching on, and then take your questions. So we'll really be able to dive deeper into the content of every single interview. So you're going to learn about how to get on the second date. You're going to learn about, how to get over your past hurts, how to date after a dry spell, all of the things that I've been talking about. We're going to take a deep dive into those and learn how to love the single life. I think that's really important. You've got to learn how to love being single, because when you do that, you really are more confident in your life. And a man wants to be with someone who's already feeling fulfilled and happy. So you're going to be able to learn that. So I have a link right here underneath the video where you can sign up for free, and you can get access to the videos. It starts in July, but you'll get access right now to my amazing free gift. And so I've got a nice free gift there for you that you'll be able to download right away, and also take a look at that upgrade opportunity where you can book a call with me or my love coaches so we can start helping you right away. And so that's all at the engagedataanyage.com. But again, the link's right here below in this video. And let's see, we've got a good question here. How should you be after a first date? Don't text him first ever. Don't text too much, but wait for him to ask you out again, right? Do you believe in the rules book, Jackie? I believe in being authentic. That's what I believe in. And so I will say there's some general rules that are really good to follow, but being more authentic is always going to connect more. So if you're really into the guy after the date and you feel like texting him, and you felt a good rapport, and you don't feel like you gave him a really clear signal that you want to go out with him again, absolutely send him a little text saying, hey, thanks for the wine. I really enjoyed hearing about that trip to Tahoe, and I hope that we can do it again. I think it's okay to do that. I mean, that is authentic. It's real. Now, if you don't hear from him again, it's not because you sent him a text, believe me. It's because of something that happened on the first date. So be authentic. If you are on a first date and you really like a guy, make sure you say, I had such a great time tonight. Thank you so much. This has been really great. I loved hearing about your stories and about your family. And yeah, I'd love to do it again. Go ahead and say that on the date, and lets him know that you will absolutely say yes to a first date. I think that sometimes we get so nervous we forget to send clear signals, and then maybe we go home and we're like, maybe I do want to go out with him again, but you never really really made it clear to him. And so yes, so if you're going to send that first text, you need to do it right away. I wouldn't wait like the next day and the next day. Then the opportunity is gone. Then it's not authentic. Then it's forced. Then you're trying to pursue him. So do it in the moment when you're feeling inspired, and it's coming from a place of inspiration, not fear. And you'll kind of know how that feels. Fear feels nervous, and you feel tightness in your body and chest and a queasy stomach. But love-based things feels good. You feel excited and full of anticipation. And just detach from an outcome of hearing from him again. As long as you're detached, it's not going to bother you. You're just going to move on if he doesn't respond. At least you followed your heart, and you know that you did what you felt inspired to do. That's important. And so let's see. Who else has a question? I'm just checking for questions here because I love answering these questions in the moment. Great that you signed up. Excellent. Okay. So again, we're going to be covering lots of content, and not just about dating, but really, like I said earlier, loving the single life, mastering dating, and we're talking a lot about manifesting and attraction and setting intentions. And I know that you've probably heard a lot of these topics covered by so many amazing experts, but here's the difference, and here's why it's different for watching the interviews that I conduct, because you have to consider the source, right, of everything you do in life. When you go to hire a coach or hire your attorney or work with a realtor to sell your home, you want to consider, have they done what you would like them to do for you? Okay, that's what you want to consider. When I hire a coach, I look at her and go, okay, has she achieved what I'd like to achieve? How could someone help you if they haven't been able to achieve that in the first place? But so I have. I'm very qualified to be asking these questions. I met my husband online. We've been together for 5 years. I've never been happier in my whole life. I help hundreds of women get engaged at any age. And I'm very passionate about doing this because of all the love, joy, and peace that I have in my life, but also because I've always been passionate about helping women. And so coming from that perspective, I'm the one who's asking the questions. And so you want to keep that in mind. That's why it's unique, and that's why I feel that this event really stands out, because the combination of the energy of these amazing experts and myself come together, creates a synergy that is really, the intention is to help you. And so make sure you sign up for that event and get that free gift, and consider upgrading. Who knows, maybe we'll be connecting as early as this week so that I can help you just, see where you're at and help you, give you a solid plan. You'd be surprised how much it helps to have someone who believes in you. I mean, if someone would just believe in you and give you some guidance, you could go so far in life. And I'm speaking from experience, for having worked with so many amazing coaches. My growth has been exponential. And so I'm a big believer in getting the support you need, because as women, we really do work better in community. We work better as teams, and we work better when we're getting support. And so take advantage of that opportunity. And yes, these calls here, these live calls, I'm doing them every Thursday, but I felt compelled to connect with you today. And I'd love to answer your questions here. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to end the call. But again, thank you so much for being here. If you want to post any question after the fact, please do here in the comment box. And on Thursday, when I do my next Facebook Live, I will answer them. Okay? Let me know what it is you want to get some coaching on, and I'll talk into that topic for you. So I hope you all have an amazing evening. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Some of you have a really a heat wave going on throughout the country and the world. So stay cool. Okay, lots of love to all of you. Bye.